settling in with us a little bit, um, we wanted to start today with really kind of recapping what we feel are the three primary things that we're going to do always, always in our space together, whether it's personal or business or anything else that you want to do. We're going to really be engaging in three primary things that we do. One is releasing judgments, right? Releasing judgments of ourselves, our non-useful thoughts. Um, a lot of our thoughts are about other people too. Yes, okay. And I want to bring this to your attention. Our thoughts are our thoughts about other people, right? They're our experiences of other people. And so when we say we're going to release judgments, we're going to do our best to release judgments of ourselves and the thoughts that we have of other people. And the way that we do that is the second thing, right? So first we're releasing judgment. Second thing we're doing is liberating ourselves from those through a process of self-forgiveness. Right. And I think so many of you have talked about how this process has been powerful. We think about forgiveness, we always think about it being with someone else. Right. But that process of forgiving ourselves is hugely powerful. And we had a process that we went through for that. Hopefully you have, started to work through that. And at any stage that you're in, it doesn't have to be perfect, right? Just I forgive myself is enough. If you go, I forgive myself for judging myself, that's even better. I forgive myself for judging myself as one who, that's even better too. And it's even better if you do the wheel of forgiveness, right? So that you go through all areas of your life. Because, like we said, you don't just arrive today with these thoughts. Most of the time, you've had them on autopilot over and over and over again. And I was just reading some research, you guys, on that by age 32, like at age 32, which looks like everyone here is over 32. Right? At the age of 32, your brain really begins to calcify and solidify around those patterns or grooves of thoughts that we've had. So, I mentioned that 97% of our thoughts, the same ones we had yesterday. If you're 32 or older and you haven't done work to work and excavate that, you're in that category. And then the final thing is we're going to fully accept our external circumstances, placing our focus on who we want to be and what we want to create in light of those circumstances. And you know it to be true, that's all we control anyway, right? It's all we control anyway. So, nutshell, um, release judgments, liberate ourselves, and then fully accept by being and creating what it is that we choose to create in light of that thing. And Tammy and I have a little story as we were, preparing for today. Um, some of you may or may not know this fully. Tammy and I began to both feel some misalignment, is probably the best word to use, with some of where we were prior to where we are now, in the positions that we had before now. And so in November, we kind of started talking about some gaps and things that we were seeing and started talking about some creation that we might do together. Um, and then in December, right, which was not due to any of that, it was due to really circumstances beyond our control. Um, we ended up both parting ways with your virtual upline and Bob, not because we disagree wholeheartedly. We love Bob totally, but it was interesting, right? That there was so much that was out of our control. Many of you know I'm in the process of remodeling a house. I live in a camper right now. Tammy, you can chime in and talk about some of your external circumstances
Yeah.
too.
I lost my sister and my dad this last year. My son was in a horrific motorcycle accident. I'm still newly married, so I relocated, still getting settled in a new environment, life, and church and everything else. So I've had had quite a 2025 and behind that as well. So
Yeah, and so it's just, I think what we've practiced what we've preached here a great deal, right? And being able to release a lot of what we have talked about, embracing that self-forgiveness and, what do we want to create? And then just go in full force toward who do we have to be in order to create that thing. And guys, here's what I've come to believe is that as we do this and we excavate, and I've used that word purposely many, many times, but we excavate everything that exists between us and our most authentic way of being, which is love, right? Our most authentic way of being is loving in all circumstances. By knowing that, we trust ourselves fully, right? And we begin to allow that love to flow through us, no matter what it is that we do, right? No matter how it is that we are creating whatever it is that we create. You can have judgments on the creating process itself, but you just begin to do it without a lot of judgments. And I'm going to refer back to us talking about the email that went out that didn't have the times yesterday. And, there's a lot of moving parts to when you begin to create something like this, right? And many of you that came from a different program with us where there was a full support team